fellow blog enthusiasts. We have some updates from High Command about the deployment of arsenal improvements in the face of the ever-evolving bug swarm and ever-improving bot death machines. But before that, let's do a quick update on news in the galactic sphere because it's quick, simple, and we can burn through it very fast. Phact Bay's defense situation is steadily improving despite overwhelming resistance and awful environmental conditions and looks to end in a narrow SEAF victory within 14 hours. Mastia on the bot front is still trying to hold on, but is steadily losing ground and dropping past 30% liberation values. But that is pretty much all the news in regards to patriotic warfare for now. We've reached that stage that comes in every major order's life where there's more movement tactically than what is readily visible from my stat trackers. So there's precious little for me to report on. Now, let's get into Sky Marshal Baskinator's blog post in regards to the 60-day plan. It's been a couple of weeks since we committed to our 60-day plan, and our team has been hard at work refining the gameplay experience, addressing your concerns by doing in-depth reviews and adjustment of various systems from weapon balancing and enemy behavior to overall game mechanics. We are fully committed to ensuring Helldivers 2 meets the high standards we all expect. We see the Steam reviews, and we hear you loud and clear. Sheesh. Oh. Sky Marshal Baskinator, under no circumstances should one of decent mental health look at the Steam forums. Ever. However, I did, and I'll deal with those guys here in just a little bit. You, however, have taken more than enough abuse from dissident malcontents, so I'm prescribing Acute Kitten Video Mental Health Break, which I will link to you in a direct message following this broadcast. Also, a cookie. Go to a local convenience store if you must. Angel's orders. We're excited to share more details about our upcoming update, which will include significant changes aimed at refining and improving your experience in Helldivers 2. This includes: we are reworking armor penetration, anti-tank weapons, and enemy armor and health values. As a key part of this rework, we have done an initial balancing pass on over 30 weapons and stratagems. Oh, yes. I am reminded of that utterly fantastic June 13th patch. That single-handedly fixed an awful lot of woes with the game and exists as a constant reminder that Arrowhead gets right way more than they ever got it wrong. They're also listening, even when we think that they're not. Hi, Joel! We are overhauling a number of different enemies to make them feel more rewarding to kill when you have the proper tools to handle them, but ensure that they still feel formidable. Enemy bots, including Hulks, will have lower armor, and the number of rockets fired by enemies like the Devastator and Gunship will be limited, making combat feel more balanced. The armor values of particularly tough bug enemies like the Charger, Impaler, and Bile Titan will also be reduced. Yes, all of this sounds absolutely phenomenal. Hulks were never really that bad because there were so many ways that you could defeat these automatons of fun. But if you let gunships reach a critical mass in the sky, there was little you could do and the mission was no longer salvageable. Realism should flow both ways. If we run out of ammo, so do they. If they have the means to produce additional ammo, let us kill them and take their stuff. We did it at Vernon Wells with their styrofoam. As for bug enemies, the Charger has been a problem child since its inception at the start of the game, and really, I think the solution here is obvious. Simply make their butts completely unarmored, just like Hulk vents. That should solve a good many problems and make people happy. Simplest solutions are often the best. I also feel I should mention the problems with the Impaler in that they take a simply obnoxious amount of pepper to bring down, and if you happen to be standing right over where one of their tentacles is coming out, you're gonna get launched so hard that you gotta slam into the upper skybox limit and get stuck there like a Wile E. Coyote skit. I hope a bug fix for that is on the horizon. It's funny the first time, but by the second to the third, I'm hoping to see Phact on the list of known issues. I also feel that making Bile Titans have a feel of more consistently taking damage would fix a few woes with them. It's been known for some time that their noggins are not always taking proper explosive damage. Make no mistake, those of us on the buff crowd don't want all challenge removed from the game. We just want annoying enemies to become less so. It's not fun being annoyed and frustrated, you know? Weapons such as the autocannon, heavy machine gun, and anti-material rifle will be more effective, providing greater loadout versatility. We are also working toward additional improvements on the flamethrower weapons. This is amusing to me because 2 of those are my immediate go-to when Skynet comes to town looking for trouble, but I am most certainly not going to complain about more effective equipment. We're taking this opportunity to consider new player fantasies and design goals for these weapons and stratagems based on the feedback we've received and the trends we've observed during gameplay. Our next update containing all of these changes and more details is scheduled to go live on September 17th. We value your feedback and are always looking for ways to improve our community engagement. Stay tuned for more updates in the coming weeks as we work together to make Helldivers 2 the best it can be. We'll be back on the 17th of September with more details. Now that's what I call a real escalation of freedom. Oh yeah, get excited. There is also a small FAQ that Sky Marshal Baskinator left here, so let's take a look at that. But what does a balancing pass entail, and how are you conducting it? Our design team, led by Chief Creative Officer Johan Pilestedt, analyzes player feedback, internal and external playtests, gameplay data, and the original design goals for each weapon and stratagem. This process allows us to identify discrepancies, such as weapons that are underperforming or overperforming, and make precise adjustments. The goal is to ensure that each weapon and stratagem feels powerful, responsive, and fun to use, while also fitting into the broader gameplay ecosystem. All of that sounds wonderful. No amount of in-house testing or quality assurance is going to equal even 10 minutes of what players can find and exploit out in the field. If there's a hole in your code, liberty willing, players will find it 100% of the time. What about the beta testing you mentioned previously? We have conducted closed beta tests for the last 2 weekends. We're starting small to ensure everything runs smoothly before expanding. They've been a test bed for the program, and we intend to expand it in the future and invite a wider array of testers to playtest our coming updates. It will take some time to get the infrastructure in order, but the intent is that these tests will find the issues and missteps before we release them to the player base at large, providing a better experience for all players. I do imagine that will make a fair number of naysayers on Reddit happy, or at least quiet their discontent for a time. For the record, dear viewers, I am not part of this program, and if I ever did end up working for Arrowhead, even in the role of a playtester, I fear my brother would just skin me and turn me into a throw rug in a fit of jealousy. When do we actually see this stuff go up? Our next update, containing all these changes and more details, is scheduled to go live on September 17th. So, roughly 12 days. All of these sound like wonderful quality of life improvements, and I am personally looking forward to all of them. Now, before I close the show out, I want to take a moment to grapple a bull by the horns, and my lovely wife would probably tell me that this is a very bad idea. But I've got something to say to certain individuals, and I'd feel like a total coward if I let them go unsaid. I'm sure that anyone with eyes can see that there are certain people on the Steam forums who are very politically motivated, and the first comments on each and every update are imploring Arrowhead to remain politically neutral and not include anything inclusive or woke stuff to the game. They are also asking to undo the region lock on the 177 countries, which I do agree with, but that's not my point right now. My point is that no one is talking about anything political with this game except you. A few mentions here and there I can understand and agree with, but you guys are here every single update within minutes. If you're faster than me covering this kind of stuff, I really have to advise you to lay off the stems. And what does woke stuff even mean anyway? Something that you personally don't agree with? Arrowhead has taken so much abuse from you guys, and none of it is deserved. I would have absolutely loved it, and been totally 110% on your side if you acted this way when Blizzard was bilking people out of literally tens of thousands of dollars with that Diablo Immortal mess. But apparently, you were totally okay with that. You were nowhere to be found. And I'll be completely honest, if Arrowhead ever did consider adding something like, I don't know, a rainbow cape to the game, at this point, I would be absolutely behind it, just to watch commenters like this absolutely and completely lose their minds. I'd support it because it would be funny. That's it. Then we would all go back to killing bugs, or bots if that's your flavor, in peaceful democratic warfare, because I'm pretty sure that Steam users like this don't actually play the game. They just want to make a scene, and I'm calling them out on that. I like to think of myself as a very even-tempered woman, but something that always gets my dander up is a bully who just wants to be mean to someone. He's got his excuse, but he still thinks he's God's gift with the moral high ground. And that's all I've got to say about that. That's been Liberty's latest with me, Ponderatheradioangel. Sorry for getting a little off the rails there, but those misbehaving entities have had their comeuppance scheduled for a while now. I love this game. I love this community, and I am enormously looking forward to the September 17th update. I also believe that the moderators, community managers, and developers working for Arrowhead have done just an exemplary job handling all the flack that they get and are stronger than me. Even my boundless optimism would have crumbled in the face of such overwhelming negativity a long time ago. So these guys have to be made of steel. But really, just this one time, I wanted to be the one to hold out the shield and protect them from their detractors and haters for a change. Sky Marshal Baskinator, Miss B Vitamin, Eagle One, Roberts, who enjoys my show greatly, Twin Beard, who I've only spoken to a few times but I think very well of, Howdy Feller, Mr. Badgie and Badger of Low Sodium, Purple, Miss Tansy, and just so many more. I regard you all as my family. I've never had so many friends before, and I'm just so honored and touched that I'm allowed to be part of a community that you build up like this. I just know that you're gonna knock 'em dead on the 17th. I believe in you. I always have, and I always will. When it finally comes time to put the chairs up on tables and turn off the lights on HD2, I'll be the last one out the door, and the first one at the party for Helldivers 3. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for Super Earth.